Hey everybody, and welcome back to BookTube Thursday. So today is a collab with Patty, with My Life with Patty, and also my Mountain Home and Kitchen. So I will link them in the description so you can go over and check them out. But basically, BookTube Thursdays are open collabs. Anyone can join in. You can talk about anything about books, coloring books, magazines, bookshelves, authors, anything book related. And today I'm going to be reading an article that I had published in a local magazine a few years ago. So this was my first opinion piece that was ever published, and I want to get back to doing more writing. I've had a long break from writing between COVID and everything that was going on in my life. I'm just like, bleh. Sick of it, no mental capacity. But now I'm starting to get back into my writing, and that's something I want to get back into this year. Now that I have a decent computer, I can do it. So this article is called Golden Girl, and it was inspired by me just binge watching the Golden Girls and having like a massive sorry up because my life was so hard at the time. So I haven't read this for ages, so who knows what it says, but I'm going to read it. As I sit on the couch, comfort food in hand, I'm feeling miserable, bitter, and burnt out. My life hasn't turned out the way I had planned, and I'm not sure what to do next. I thought by now I would have a career I loved and the perfect nuclear family. Do I give up on my dreams and live out my days in tracksuit pants and granny knickers? That's so funny. Or do I decide to fight life's storms and keep forging on? At almost 40, I'm twice divorced, a single mum, and I've spent 2 years, and it's still ongoing, fighting with the NDIS for my 3 children, and I wonder, there has to be more to life than this. I've gotten into a rut, a chocolate-eating, daggy jumper-wearing rut. I've attempted to climb out a few times, but it's comfy in here. Gosh. It's so funny reading it now. But, I was like, yeah, I was in a rut, but warranted. I had a lot going on, so some days I barely have time to even look in the mirror, and when I do, I think, who am I? Away from all the titles we enable society to put on ourselves: mother, wife, ex-wife, anxious, overweight, stressed, ADHD. Who am I? I am many things. I am both amazing and flawed. I am both resilient and soft. I am allowed to be those things, and I do not owe the world a certain version of womanhood or femininity. As a single mother, I have changed. I have become stronger, more cynical, and more selfish. I'm allowing myself to love myself and to not be tied down to any man for validation or support. Over the years, I've had many family members and friends who, although well-meaning, have said many ill-placed remarks, and oh my God, have they? You don't need a man, just focus on your children. No, of course I don't need a man, but what if I wanted one? Why shame me for wanting what most people have? You don't need to be studying right now, just raise your children. Of course I love my children, but I'm also entitled to my own life. It seems in the opinion of the happily married masses that, well, I'm a single mother now, so my life is over. At first I longed for what everyone else had, the cliche white picket fence and the family weekends away, the performance. But as I grieved through my broken dreams and grew, I realized I have the power to create a new narrative. I do not need to be anything other than what makes me happy. I don't have the energy or the desire to commit to another person right now. Sorry, I'm so glad when I get this denture plate. It's so hard to talk. I don't have the energy or the desire to commit to another person again right now. I see myself being single long-term by choice. I so meant this when I wrote it. So I've begun to look for mentors. On one of my many binge-watching weekends of self-pity, I decided to return to a staple of my youth, the Golden Girls. It would interrupt the negativity and give me a laugh. I had spent many hours watching this with my mother as a child, and while my young brain didn't comprehend most of the jokes churned out, I knew it was funny. I was scared of Dorothy. Her tall, unwomanly frame and deep voice unnerved me, while Blanche enthralled me, and I knew, while I would have loved to have her charms, the simple, kind, and loving Rose was my favourite. Upon revisiting these ladies in my adulthood, I was shocked to realize how my affections had changed. I felt a kinship to the sarcastic, bitter, long-suffering Dorothy I had never thought I'd feel. I had more understanding of Blanche's desire to have lots of gentlemen friends, avoiding any real commitment, and Rose, well, I hadn't remembered how anxious and annoying she could be. I also realized how politically charged the show was. In one breath, they advocate for older women to be functioning sexual beings, and then in the next, they make jokes about slaves and dwarfism. Really shocking. So while I laughed at the many jokes and was appalled by some, the show is ultimately a product of its time. What it has done for women can't be denied, though. In a time when female newsreaders were defunct after the age of 40 and shoulder pads tried to win women some equality in the boardroom, the Golden Girls was showing us that women over 50 simply don't stop existing. They don't shrink into their sofas under a crochet blanket waiting for their grandchildren to come and visit. They dated, they had lots of sex, and were the object of desire for others. They had complex relationships with other women who they loved, lied to, protected, and cared for. They went on adventures and even broke the law. The 80s taught me a few things. One being strong, powerful, driven women could have any career they wanted. Think Dolly Parton, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda in 9 to 5, and Bette Midler in, well, probably any movie she's been in. I grew up watching these fabulous, strong women, and I knew I wanted to be like them. Life, though, doesn't always work out that way, and now I feel like the very epitome of Dorothy Spornak, divorced, bitter, suffering. Just how far has the female revolution come? Are we ever truly free to be our own woman? There is something freeing about being a single woman. Even though I am busy with my children, and as much as I miss the comfort of having a partner, having someone else to help pick up the slack when things are hard, and someone to share in the beautiful family moments, I feel liberated but trapped in many ways. It is a complex riddle. I am free yet tied down, like a caged bird with the door open. When will I fly further than I ever have? I don't have to justify myself to another person. The only people I feel I owe anything to are my children. I am actually excited for the future when my children are older. When you are a young or middle-aged woman in the throes of divorce, it can be utterly heartbreaking. Grief consumed me as I faced rejection and a loss of identity. I had to rebuild my life while questioning myself and learning to trust myself again. Betty White, the kind yet somewhat anxious and annoying Rose, is still going strong. She has outlived her co-stars and is enjoying fame and working despite her age. She is kind of my hero. I look to the ladies who are still going strong that show us that there is life after husbands, and even after children grow up. There is a time to be a woman, just a woman. So excuse me while I swap my granny knickers for something a little more exciting. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, so I wrote that and got that published. And, you know, at the time I was binge watching The Golden Girls, and I just was like, I felt like I was never going to find anybody, and I was just like, I got to accept this and make a life for myself. Then Ben came along. But, you know, I suppose through watching The Golden Girls, though, it showed women that you could be independent, and it doesn't matter if you're single, it doesn't matter if you're elderly, it doesn't matter, like, you can find kinship and connection with other women, and you can still have a great life at any age. And I think too, like, as I was approaching 40, I felt really like, oh my gosh, I'm hitting this huge milestone and I haven't got my shit together, and like feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm so old, I'm ancient, and just feeling really sorry for myself because my life was an absolute mess. But now that I feel like I'm taking control, I feel good because I feel like I'm being brave, I'm facing my health stuff so I can be healthy, and, you know, I'm forging ahead so that I can have a better quality of life. And, you know, and Ben's doing that as well. I want Ben's bandwagon, pushing him to be healthy too. And the kids are doing well, and you know, things are looking up, things are easier, and I just looking forward to being a hot babe at 50. So thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. See ya.